What's up guys, how's it going? So in this video, let's talk about using a limiter on your live stream. So in our last video, I think it was the last one, we talked about compressing your live stream mix, link up here. Now let's talk about using a limiter on your live stream. Now a compressor and a limiter are similar. A limiter is basically an extremely hard compressor where nothing is going to go over the signal, whereas a compressor lets some signal keep passing through and just kind of reduces the dynamic range of a signal. A limiter stops it. Now, where using a limiter for your live stream can be helpful is getting your overall live stream mix louder. Because if you're just using a compressor, which is fine and sounds great, you're going to be reducing some transients. You're going to be bringing down some signals in your mix, but a limiter is going to stop those. So you can get your mix just a little that much louder and more consistent so that those transients, say a snare drum or a quick, loud vocal part, aren't going to distort in your live stream. This is something, if used well, no one will ever know it's there. You don't want to notice this, but it is something that will make a big difference in helping add some perceived presence, maybe, if that's a correct term there, or some perceived volume. But it will also allow you to add actual volume because you won't be clipping as easily. And again, like I've been saying this whole series, hit the link in the description, jakerussellaudio.com/livestream mix tips for the free guide to go along with this and free training. So now let's jump over to the board and let's see how we can use a limiter on our mix. Okay, so let's quickly set up a limiter on our master fader. So I'm going to use effect 8 that's already assigned main left right, and the inserts are on. We're going to scroll over until we see precision limiter. Inserts are on. So let's edit. So here's our default settings. Oh, one more thing, sorry. I think that it defaults here, but you'll want to make sure that the limiter is inserted last in your chain. That's where you always want a limiter. In basically any scenario, I don't know of many where you would need the limiter before everything else, so set it last, so anything you do before this will be fed into the limiter. So back to this. So these are our default settings. I'm no expert on this particular limiter, so the only things I think for sure, I'm looking at it, I definitely want to mess with the release and maybe up the attack a little bit. We'll see how it sounds. But I think I would bring this down to like the low 100s for sure as a starting point. I'm doing this on the fly, so we'll see what it sounds like. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to raise our input gain to the point that we start seeing gain reduction. So, watch your headphones, whatever you're using here. We'll see if this goes crazy or not. But so yeah, we're going to start by just raising our input gain to the point that we start seeing a little bit of limiting. So for what I'm looking for on this limiter, that's a decent starting spot. And my main reason is I'm seeing it knock off some of the peaks and I'm not really hearing it. Whenever I am using a limiter, you're using it to get your volume up, but not to be something that necessarily affects the mix, if that makes sense. You're using it as something that's going to keep problems from happening. That's at least my philosophy on using a limiter in this situation. We're not trying to go crazy with it or anything like that. And like I said, I'm by no means an expert on this particular compressor limiter. So you can go and experiment with your settings and everything. I think a more gradual knee, probably staying 2 or 3, is probably safe. Keeping the attack pretty quick at 0.10 milliseconds, and then bringing the release down. You could probably even go faster than that, to be honest. Again, experiment, but I would say maybe even try it starting at 80 and see how that sounds for you. The point is, you want to knock off the loud peaks, but not notice it. So yeah, give this a shot and let me know what you think in the comments, what works for you. I hope this is helpful. Give this a shot. Let me know what you think. Do all the YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe, hit the link for the free stuff, and I will see you guys in the next one.